Hi, I'm Sean Azalea with ProAct. I'm here with Randy Benko, Director of Food Service for Driscoll's. We're in Watsonville. We're going to talk to you a little bit about strawberries today. So Randy, can you tell us a little bit about what we can expect for the upcoming season in terms of availability and quality?
Absolutely. Actually, timing-wise, we're just coming into our peak right now in the Salinas, Watsonville areas, and a little past our peak out of Santa Maria, but we anticipate being in really good supplies of strawberries probably till around mid-July, and then typically we'll see a downward turn in production usually from mid-July through the month of August, and then we at this point would anticipate a nice little bit of a return crop as we get closer to the 1st of September.
So Randy, tell us about some of the challenges you're facing currently.
Well, with any growing season, ultimately the biggest challenge we face day to day is really Mother Nature and growers' flexibility and really being able to take their cues in regards to what weather challenges. As you look backwards, we had an extremely wet winter, which created a lot of situations that we haven't experienced for 4 or 5 years after coming through the drought. One of the positive things that happens from having a wetter year is a leaching of the soils to enable the plants to establish a really deep root system, and which usually translates to a bigger volume crop, which again we're going through that period right now. Now we just recently experienced a rain event, and we've had some severe heat, so that's where from a weather perspective it's like waking up to a new world every day, and so the weather will always be a challenge. Another challenge we're faced is that of having enough labor, enough hands to pick the fruit, not only strawberry-wise, raspberries, blackberries, blueberries. One of the challenges there is that hopefully in any production season, especially now, that not all the berries peak at the same time.
So Randy, this is really neat. I've never seen this before. Why don't you talk a little bit about what this is? What are we looking at?
And what we're looking at is a tabletop growing system where the plants are no longer in the ground, they're up off the ground, and certainly one of the key benefits of growing this way is it's going to make it so much easier for the harvester. That's one of the outcomes that you're looking for, is to get more efficient and potentially to see where you could improve your overall production, because ultimately that could keep costs in check. It's very exciting for us to know that in the next couple of years you're going to see a whole transformation of the Northern California, really the Salinas, Watsonville districts, to similar types of production models to be able to address the problem of not having enough hands to be able to pick.
Randy, why don't you tell me a little bit about the particular strawberry variety we're looking at here?
Well, the variety we're looking at here is Del Rey, and currently Del Rey has a significant percentage of production out of the Salinas, Watsonville district. But really one of the differentiators for Driscoll's as a whole is we propagate our own varieties.
Sure.
And the process of actually doing that is very manual at first in how varieties are crossed. And then you go through an evaluation period that in most cases lasts anywhere from 2 to 6 year period to evaluate varieties before you actually take them to commercial production. And once you get into commercial production, it's, the challenge is still there in that it takes a couple years of going through commercial production before you really hone in on from a growing perspective, what some of those key handling points to make sure that you're delivering the type of quality that we need. And ultimately that quality is to delight berry consumers, and a big part of it is certainly appearance, of the fruit itself, certainly having the condition to make it through the market supply chain to get it to customers, and ultimately what brings them back is the flavor component. And so the game is not won by producing tons or producing X number of trays or whatever, but it's ultimately delivering delight to consumers. And ultimately if we're successful at that, we know we'll have a business that will sustain itself for decades to come.
Randy, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome, Sean, and thank you for taking the time to spend with us, and certainly, again, thanks for the continued years of support of our growers.
Absolutely. And guys, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to ProAct.